Hey champs of ExamsNet, welcome to the question series of ExamsNet. Students, you must have explored our website www.examsnet.com. This site is a great place for you to practice your entrance exam question papers because here you will find so many solutions of various entrance exam question papers along with their detailed PDF solution. And you must download our app. The link is available in the description box. So students, today we are solving JEE main 29th January 2025 shifted to paper. Okay, so in this particular video I'll be solving the physics part of the paper. So starting with the very first question of the physics part, that is question number 26. So it says that three equal masses m are kept at three vertices a, b, c of an equilateral triangle of side A in free space. Okay, so there is an equilateral triangle A, B, and C, and three masses, each of mass m, are placed at A, B, and C point. Okay, so at t equals to 0, they are given an initial velocity Va equals to V naught AC, VB equals to V naught BA, and VC equals to V naught CB. So from here, V naught is the velocity which is along AC, and from C, V naught is the velocity along CB, and from B, V naught is the velocity along BA. Okay, here AC, CB, and BA are unit vectors along edges of a triangle. If the three masses interact gravitationally, then the magnitude of the net angular momentum of the system at the point of collision is. Okay, so students, here it is asking to find the net angular momentum. So if these three masses interact gravitationally, so the total masses of the entire system, means the total force of the entire system, that is gravitational force, it is basically the internal force of the system. Okay, so the gravitational force is basically the internal force that is acting on the system. So for this, the external force will be equals to 0 because gravitational is basically because of the internal force. So no external force is acting on the system. So if no external force is acting, so tau, torque, external torque, will also be equals to 0. So in this case, the initial angular momentum will be equals to final angular momentum. So if we find the initial angular momentum, that will be our answer, means that will be our final angular momentum. Now, according to question, it is an equilateral triangle. So if it is an equilateral triangle and it is given as side A, okay. So if it is an equilateral triangle, so let us draw this as, let us say this is an origin, okay. These are the axes, okay. Now, the position vector R from C in this direction and the momentum vector from A in this direction, these both are opposite to each other, means they are at 180 degree to each other. So we write L as equals to MVR, and we also write it as R cross P. Okay, so if the position vector R is along this direction and the momentum vector is along this direction, means they are at opposite angle. So along this, the net angular momentum L will be equals to 0. Okay, so if we can now, if we consider the point C, so for point C, it will be R perpendicular into MV. So R perpendicular for point C, since it is at origin, so we considered it as 0. So for C point also, L is equals to 0. Now for A, angular momentum is 0, because of C, angular momentum is 0. Now if we consider the point B, so for point B, this distance is A. Okay, so if these masses collide, when these masses collide, so point of collision is nothing but this center of mass. Let us say this is point O. So if we draw a perpendicular from here, so this perpendicular, C, let us say this is P. So CP is the perpendicular distance over the momentum distance BA. Okay, so if this is this, since it is an equilateral triangle, so if it is 60 degree, so this will be our a sine 60. Okay, this perpendicular distance will be a sine 60. So for a sine 60, initial angular momentum will be r perpendicular into mv if we consider the magnitude of it. So it will be a sine 60 means a root 3 by 2 into mv. So the whole angular momentum, initial angular momentum will be L is equals to root 3a by 2 into mv. So the final angular momentum will be, from here the initial angular momentum will be equals to final angular momentum. So for it, the final angular momentum will be also a root 3 by 2 into mv. So for this, our correct answer is option C, that is root 3 by 2 am v naught. Okay, since we are considering v naught here, so root 3 by 2 am v naught is the correct answer, means our option C is the correct answer. Now next question is 27. Two bodies A and B of equal mass are suspended from two massless springs of spring constant K1 and K2 respectively. If the bodies oscillate vertically such that their amplitudes are equal. Okay, we are given that their amplitudes are equal, then the ratio of the maximum velocity of A to the maximum velocity of B is, okay. So we know that the formula for the angular velocity omega is equals to under root of k over m, where k is the spring constant and m is the mass of the body. Okay, so for this, if we talk about the maximum velocity, we have to find the ratio of maximum velocity to the of a to the maximum velocity of b. So for the maximum velocity, so we write a into omega equals to a into omega. Omega is under root of k over m. So maximum velocity of a will be equals to a into under root of km over m, and for b it is vb equals to a into under root of k2 over m. So ratio, since we have to find the ratio of maximum velocity of a to b, so now we divide this. So a cancels out, m cancels out. So va over vb will be equals to under root of km over k2. Okay, so our answer is option 1, that is under root of k1 over k2. Now question 28. A point charge causes an electric flux of minus 2 into 10 to the power 4 Newton meter square per coulomb to pass through a spherical Gaussian surface. Okay. And the Gaussian surface radius is given as 8.0 centimeters centered on the charge. The value of the point charge is, okay, since we know that from Gauss theorem, the total flux is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface, and we have to find the value of this charge. So this charge will be equals to flux into this epsilon naught. So we are given flux as minus 2 into 10 to the power 4 into epsilon naught. Epsilon naught value is given as 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12. So solving it, we get minus of 17.7 into 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb. Okay, so our point charge is minus 17.7 into 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb, means option A is the correct answer. Sorry, option D, because it is having negative sign also. So option D is the correct answer. Now question 29. In an experiment with photoelectric effect, the stopping potential. Okay, we know that from Einstein photoelectric equation. Okay, from Einstein photoelectric equation, we know that hc over lambda, it is equals to work function plus stopping potential. Okay, so and we know that the this is stopping potential, it is equals to maximum kinetic energy. Okay, so in this question we are asked that this stopping potential, means this vs, Now it will be equals to maximum kinetic energy over this E. So it is 1 over E times of the kinetic energy. So decreases with increase in the intensity of the incident light. Not, it is wrong. It is 1 over E times the maximum kinetic energy. Yes. So our answer is option B. That is, it is equals to 1 over E times the maximum kinetic energy. Now question 30. The number of spectral lines emitted by atomic hydrogen that is in the fourth state energy level is, okay, we know that the simple formula for finding the number of spectral lines is equals to n. It is equals to n2 minus n1 into n2 minus n1 plus 1 over 2, and we are given fourth energy level. So the number of spectral line emitted by atomic hydrogen, that is fourth energy level. So n equals to 1, n equals to 2, n equals to 3, and n equals to 4. So it is emitting from n equals to 4 na. So means it will be equals to n2 means 4 and n1 is 1. So 4 minus 1, 4 minus 1 plus 1 over divided by 2. So it will be 3 into 4 divided by 2. So 2 to the 4, it will be 6. So number of spectral line will be 6. Now next question is 31. Two identical symmetric double convex lens focal length f are cut into two equal parts L1 and L. It must be L2, okay? L1 and L2. AB plane and L3 and L4 by XY plane as shown in the figure respectively. The ratio of focal lengths of lens and L3 is, okay. Student, it must be lens L1 and L3. Here L1 and L2 and here L1 and L3. Okay. So according to question, the lens is cut in two symmetric parts L1 and L2 when AB is like this. Okay. So if we are cutting this double convex lens of focal length f in like this L1 and L2 two part, so here the focal length will be same. F1 will be equals to f and f2 will be equals to f only. If we are cutting them vertically, here we are cutting them horizontally. So for horizontally, the all the focal lengths will be same. If we are cutting them vertically, so the focal length will become twice of the initial one. Means f3 will be equals to 2 into f and f4 will be equals to 2f, twice of the focal length. Okay, so if we want to find the ratio of L1 and L3, so L1 over L3 will be equals to f over 2f. So it will be 1 by 2, means 1 ratio 2. So our answer is option C, 1 ratio 2. Okay. Now next question 32. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as reason R. Okay. Assertion A is given as there are two identical spheres of same mass undergo one-dimensional motion as shown in the figure with initial velocity. Okay. VA is given as 5, VB is given as 2, VC is given as 4. If we wait sufficiently long for elastic collision to happen, then VA is this, VB is this, and VC is this must be the final velocities. Okay. And reason for this is given as in an elastic collision between identical masses, two objects exchange their velocities. Okay. So this is the reason this is a true statement. Since when there is an collision, actually when there is elastic collision between two identical masses, let us say this is mass A, this is mass B, then these two objects exchange their velocity. The velocity of A will be equals to velocity of B and velocity of B will become velocity of A then. Okay. So following this statement only, we will find out our final velocities. Okay. So at initial time, VA and VB they collide. So when VA, VB they collide, velocity of B will become the velocity of A. Means after collision of VA and VB, VA will become 2 and VB will become 5. Okay, then this VB collide with VC. So when VB and VC collide, so here VB is 5 and VC is 4. So then VB become 4 and VC become 5. So at final, VA become 2, VB become 4 and VC become 5. Okay. So VA2, VB4, VC5, VA2, VB4. So assertion is wrong, but the reason given for it is correct. Okay. So uh, assertion A is false, but R is true, means option B is the correct answer. Okay. Now question 33. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as reason R. Assertion A is with the increase in the presence of an ideal gas, the volume falls off more rapidly in an isothermal process in comparison to the adiabatic process. And reason for this is given as in an isothermal process, PV equals to constant, while in adiabatic process, PV gamma, actually it is gamma equals to constant. Here gamma is ratio of specific heat, means Cp over Cv. Okay, so student, if we draw a figure of P pressure versus volume. So if we increase the pressure, means let us say this one is isothermal and this one is adiabatic. Okay, so if we increase the pressure, let us say we consider this as the reference point. So when we increase the pressure, the there is a decrease in the volume more rapidly for the isothermal process, because if we consider this, so isothermal curve decreases more rapidly as compared to the adiabatic curve. So it means that if we increase the pressure, the volume falls more rapidly in isothermal as compared to the adiabatic process, means assertion A is the correct answer. Okay, and we know that for isothermal process, PV equals to constant. PV equals to constant means P is directly proportional to 1 over V. And for adiabatic process, PV gamma equals to constant means P is directly proportional to 1 over V gamma. Okay. So it means that here um, reason is given as gamma is this and pressure. Okay, so if we look in this also, P is directly proportional to 1 over V and P is directly proportional to 1 over V gamma. It means that the volume falls more rapidly in isothermal process as compared to the adiabatic process, means the assertion A and the reason for this both are true, and reason is the correct explanation of A, means for this option A is the correct answer. Now question 34. The difference of temperature in a material can convert heat energy into electrical energy. To harvest the heat energy, the material should have. Okay. So the let us say if we talk about the thermal conductivity as well as the electrical conductivity, so let us consider two loop. Let us say this is first loop and this is second loop. Okay. So for this, if we have higher electrical conductivity, so there will be more number of electrons. More number of electrons means, let us say this is a high temperature and this is low temperature. Okay, so if there are more number of electron, so electrical conductivity will be higher. So for the heat energy, the electrical conductivity should be high, and there must be difference between these temperatures. So when the electrical conductivity is high, then at that time the thermal conductivity should be low. So low thermal conductivity and high electrical conductivity. Okay, to convert heat energy into electrical energy. Okay, high electrical conductivity. So our answer is low thermal conductivity and high electrical conductivity, means option A. Now question 35. A sand dropper drops sand of mass mt on a conveyor belt at a rate proportional to the square root of speed, that is given as dm over dt is directly proportional to under root of v. Okay, if P is the power delivered to run the belt at constant speed, then which of the following relationship is true? Okay, we are asked to find power. We know that power deliver is equals to F dot V. Okay, and we also know that F is equals to rate of change of momentum del P over del T. Okay, this is rate of change of linear momentum. So F will be equals to, since momentum equals to mass into velocity. Okay, so here we can write d by dt of m into v. Since constant speed means velocity is constant, so v dm over dt. Okay, and we know that dm over dt is directly proportional to under root of v. So we can write f is at v dm over dt. It is directly proportional to under root of v. So when we replace this proportionality sign, so there must be a proportionality constant. Let us say we write k as the proportionality constant. Okay, so in place of dm over dt, we write k into v to the power 1 by 2. So f become k into v to the power 1 by 2 plus this v means 1. So f will be equals to k into v to the power 3 by 2. So from here, power will be equals to f into v. So k into v to the power 3 by 2 into this v. So eventually it will become power equals to k v to the power 3 by 2 plus 1. So it will be v to the power 5 by 2. Okay, means the power is directly proportional to, power is equals to k v to the power 5 by 2, means if we square on both sides, so p square will be equals to, so to find the answer we will square it, and we find p square is equals to uh if we remove the uh, proportionality sign, so it will be proportionality constant. After removing proportionality constant, we will write it here proportionality sign. So p square is directly proportional to v to the power 5, means option C is the correct answer. P square is directly proportional to v to the power 5. Now question 36. A plane electromagnetic wave propagates along positive x direction in free space. The components of the electric field and the magnetic field vector associated with the wave in Cartesian frame are, okay, wave is traveling, propagating in the positive x direction. This is x, this is y, and this is z. If the wave is propagating in this direction, let us say wave is represented by c, and we know that the direction of propagation of wave is always E cross B, means E and B should be perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. So if E is in this direction and B is in this direction, then only the wave will propagate in positive x direction. So it will be direction of wave propagation will be E cross B, means E will be along the y axis and B will be along the z axis. Okay, so E Y B Z means option B is the correct answer. Now question 37. Match list 1 with list 2. Okay. Magnetic induction. Magnetic induction means basically magnetic field, and magnetic field is calculated in terms of Tesla. Tesla means Gauss also. So A matches with this third. A matches with third. Then comes uh, magnetic intensity. Okay, magnetic intensity is basically ampere per meter. Units ampere, it should be ampere per meter. If it's ampere per meter, then B matches with 4. Then magnetic flux 5. Magnetic flux is measured in Weber. So C matches with second. Okay, And then magnetic moment. Magnetic moment is I into A. So it will be ampere meter square. So D matches with first, A matches with third, B matches with fourth, C matches with second, and D matches with first. Means option C is the correct answer. Now question 38. Match list 1 with list 2. Okay. So we are given Young's modulus, then we are given torque, coefficient of viscosity, and gravitational constant. Okay. So if we talk about Young's modulus, okay, Young's modulus is nothing but stress over strain. Stress over strain. So it will be force over area over strain is del L over L. So it will be over area means ML T minus 2 over del L over L means L square. So Young's modulus is basically M L minus 1 T minus 2. So A matches with ML minus 1 T minus 2 means A matches with second. Okay. Then if we talk about coefficient of viscosity, we know that F is equals to 6 pi eta. This is coefficient of viscosity R into V. So eta will be equals to F over 6 pi R into V. So F is force. It will be MLT minus 2 over pi R into V. V is velocity. So it will be LT minus 1 and R will be L. Okay. So it will be ML minus 1. Okay. And T minus 2 plus 1. It will be minus 1. So eta will be ML minus 1 T minus 1. ML minus 1 and T minus 1. Okay. And then this gravitational constant. Okay. If gravitational constant means G is equals to F d1 d2 means d square over m1 m2. Okay. So it will be G will be equals to F m L T minus 2 d square. It will be L square over m1 m2 means m square. So solving it we get m L cube m minus 1 basically m minus 1 L cube and T minus 2. So it will be m minus 1 L cube T minus 2 means D matches with third. And last final torque. We know that torque is basically R cross F. Okay. So it will be M L square T minus 2. So tau will be equals to ml square T minus 2 means B matches with 4. So A matches with second, A matches with second, B matches with 4, B matches with 4, C matches with first, and D matches with third. Means option C is the correct answer. Now question 39. A polyatomic molecule CV, it will be CV, okay? CV equals to 3R, Cp equals to 4R, where R is the gas constant, goes from phase space point A to point B, then from point B to point C, okay? A to B is an adiabatic path. A to B is an adiabatic path and B to C is an isothermal path. So for adiabatic path, we know that for adiabatic, change in heat is equals to 0. Okay. And for isothermal, okay, we have to find the net heat absorbed. So net heat absorbed means from A to B, net heat will be equals to 0. And from B to C, it is isothermal. For isothermal, delta U is equals to 0. So in that case, delta Q will be equals to delta W. And it will be equals to from B to C. B is PB equals to 5 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal and V is 6 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube. And here pressure is 10 to the power 4 Pascal and V is 8 into 10 to the power minus 6. So change in work done. will be equals to nRT ln. So nRT ln, this will be Vc over Vb. So it will be equals to Vc over Vb. Okay. So it will be equals to nRT. R is the gas constant basically. So N is the number of moles and T is the temperature here. So here 500 Kelvin temperature and 450 Kelvin temperature, and from Vc to Vb 450 is the temperature. Okay. T is equals to 450 R and N. We are not given N, so considered N is equals to 1. So it will be 450 R ln Vc over Vb. Vc over Vb. So we know that log A over B is basically log A minus log B. So we can write here 450 R ln Vc minus Vb. Vc is 8 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube, and Vb is 6 into 10 to the power minus 6. So it will be uh, we can write is that ln 4 minus ln 3. Okay. So our answer is 450 R ln 4 minus ln C. This is from B to C. Okay. Delta Q. So net heat absorbed will be from A to B plus from B to C. From A to B it is 0. So net will be from B to C only, means net heat absorbed will be 450 R log of 4 minus log of 3. So our answer is option D. Okay. Now, question 40. We are given with a circuit diagram and we have to find the correct truth table for it. Okay. So starting with the circuit diagram, this is A. So here A only. This is NOT gate. So it will be B bar. Here it is NOT gate, so it will be A bar, and here B only. This is AND gate. Okay, so it will be A dot B bar. This is also an AND gate, so it will be A bar dot B. And for this is OR gate. OR gate means addition. So Y will be equals to AB bar plus A bar B. Okay. So our output is AB bar plus A bar B. Now for this is basically an XOR gate. If we talk about this is basically an AB bar plus A bar B is an XOR gate. And for XOR gate, the truth table is this one. 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 means option C is the correct answer. Now, question number 41. A cup of coffee cools from 90 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius in T minutes when the room temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. The time taken by the similar cup of coffee to cool from 80 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius at the same room temperature is. Okay. So, this question can be solved by using Newton's law. So, from Newton's law, we know that T1 minus T2 over common temperature T, it is equals to alpha T1 plus T2 by 2 minus room temperature. Here the room temperature is given as 20 degrees Celsius, so it will be minus 20. So T1 is 90, T2 is 80. So 90 minus 80 over T, it will be equals to alpha 90 plus 80 over 2 minus 20. Now we'll solve it. So 10 over T will be equals to alpha 170 over 2 minus 20. So it will be equals to 10 over T will be equals to alpha 8 is 16 117 85 minus 20. So it will be equals to 10 over T will be equals to alpha 85 minus 20 will be 65. So here alpha will be equals to 10 over 65 t. Okay. Now the next one is the time taken by the similar cup of coffee to cool from 80 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius at the same room temperature. Now we'll use the same formula, but here the T1 will be 80 minus 60 over T will be equals to alpha. Now here alpha is 10 over 65 T into T1 plus T2 divided by 2 means 80 plus 60 divided by 2 means 70 minus 20. So it will be equals to 80 minus 60 means 20 over T will be equals to 10 over 65 T, and 70 minus 20 it will be 50. So it will be equals to, so here we will take T dash, okay, not T dash. So 0 0 cancel, so it will be 65 T into 2 divided by 50 will be equals to T dash. So when we solve it, 2 25s are 50, 5 1s are 5, 1 6, 5 3s are 15, 5 5s are 25. So T dash will be equals to 13 over 5 T. So our T dash is 13 over 5T means option A is the correct answer. Okay. Now the next question is 42. An electric dipole is placed at a distance of 2 centimeter from an infinite plane sheet having positive charge density sigma naught. Choose the correct option from the following. Okay. Torque on the dipole is 0 and net force acts towards the sheet. Potential energy of the dipole is minimum. Torque is 0. Potential energy and torque both are maximum. Torque is 0. Net force is directed away from the sheet. Okay. So let us try to understand this first. We are given with a infinite plane sheet. Okay. Let us consider positive charge here, and here at some distance a dipole is placed, and we know that in a dipole there are two charges, one is positive and another one is negative. Okay, and we know that at any point the electric field due to any infinite plane sheet E is equals to sigma over 2 epsilon naught. Okay. And the torque on this dipole will be torque tau equals to P cross E. Since it is P cross E, so due to this cross product means perpendicular, this torque will be equals to 0 here. Okay. And we have to find the uh, potential energy also. So in this case, the potential energy will be, since P and E both are in same direction, so angle between them will be 0. So P dot E cos 0. So cos, sorry, not 0, it will be 180 degree. Okay, and cos 180 degree is what? Minus 1. So U will be equals to minus P dot E. Okay, so here the potential energy will be minimum and the torque will be 0. So in accordance to this, the potential energy of the dipole is minimum and torque is 0 is the correct answer. Okay, means option B is the correct answer. Now, next question 43. Two concave refracting surfaces of equal radii of curvature and refractive index 1.5 face each other in air as shown in the figure. A point O is placed midway between P and B. The separation between the images of O formed by each refracting surface is. Okay. So this one is glass and this is air, and we are given refractive index, radii of curvature and refractive index as 1.5, and which are facing each other in air. Okay. So if we talk about glass B, so for glass B we can write mu2 over this image distance v minus mu1 over object distance u. It will be equals to mu2 minus mu1 over r. Okay. So mu2 is 1.5 over v, and we are talking about B class, so we can write VB minus mu1 for air it is 1, so 1 over object distance it will be this r by 2. Okay, so r by 2 it will be equals to 1.5 minus 1 over r, and according to sign convention it will be minus r. Okay, so solving it we get 1.5 over vb, and if okay, here will be minus according to sign convention, so minus minus will be plus, so it will be 2 over r, it will be 0.5 over minus of r. Okay, so when we solve it, we get 1.5 over VB will be equals to minus 0.5 R minus of 2 over R. So for this, VB will be equals to minus of 0.6 R. Okay. Now, let us say this is equation number 1. Now, if we talk about glass A. So for glass A, again using this equation, we can write for glass A, we can write mu2 over V minus mu1 over U. So it will be mu2 1.5, okay, over VA, since we are talking about glass A, and according to sign convention this U will be, see, this is whole 2R. Okay, and if we want to find about this point, so it will be 2R minus R by 2, so it will be 3R by 2 na, so it will be minus mu1 over u, so it will be 3r by 2, but according to sign convention here will be negative, and mu1 is 1 only. Okay, and it will be equals to, again mu2 minus mu1 means 1.5 minus 1, so it will be again 0.5 over minus of r. Okay, so now we'll solve it, so we get 1.5 over va minus minus plus 2 over 3r, it will be equals to minus 0.5 over r. So from here we get 1.5 over va will be equals to minus of 0.5 r and minus of 2 over 3r. So when we solve it, we get va will be equals to minus 9 over 7 r. Okay, let us say this is equation number 2, and in this question we are asked to find the separation between the images of A formed by each refracting surfaces. So separation formed by each refracting surfaces will be, since this total distance is 2r. Okay, so for separation we will use 2r minus this vb plus va, so 2r minus of this 9 over 7 r plus this 0.6 r. So solving it we get 2r minus of 9r plus 4.2 r over 7. Okay, so it will be equals to 14r minus 9r minus 4.2r over 7. So solving it we get separation is equals to 0.114 r. Okay, so our answer is 0.114 r, means option A is the correct answer. Now question number 44. A convex lens made of glass, refractive index is given as 1.5, has focal length 24 centimeter in air. When it is totally immersed in water. Okay, at first it is in air and then later on it is immersed in water. So if we talk about the air case, okay, so first talk about the air case. So for air case, 1 over f means it will be equals to 1 over 24. Okay, it will be equals to mu1 means 1.5 minus this 1 into 1 over r plus 1 over r. Why we have written plus here? Because initially it here it is minus, and according to sign convention this r is also minus, but minus minus makes it plus. Okay, so 1 over 24 will be equals to mu minus 1. it will be eventually mu2 over mu1 minus 1. So mu1 is 1 only, so it will be 1.5 over 1 minus 1 means 1.5 minus 1. So it will be 0.5 into 1 over r plus 1 over r means 2 over r. Okay. So solving it, we get 2 over r is equals to 1 over 24 into 0.5. 0.5 means 1 into 10. So it will be 5 2s are 10, 2 12s are 24. So r will be equals to 12 2s are 24 centimeter. Okay. This is the first case of air. Now it is totally immersed in water. Now if we take the case of the water. So for water, again we can write 1 over f dash because we have to find the focal length. So 1 over f dash will be equals to, again this mu2 over mu1 minus 1. So mu2 is again 1.5, but in this case mu1 is immersed in water means 1.33 minus 1, and again it will be this only, so it will be 2 over r. So solving it, we can write 1 over f dash will be equals to, if we put 0 here to decimal cancels out, so 150 minus 133 over 133 into 2 over r is 24 here, so 24. So solving it, we get, okay, solving it, we get 1 over f dash will be equals to 17 over 133 and into 1 over 12. So when we solve it, we get f dash is equals to uh 133 into 12 over 17. So it will be equals to 96 centimeter. Okay. So f dash here is 96 centimeter means the focal length changes to 96 centimeter means option D is the correct answer. Now question number 45. A capacitor C1 equals to 6 microfarad. C1 is given as 6 microfarad is charged to a potential difference of V0 equals to 5 volt using a 5 volt battery. Okay. The battery is removed and another capacitor C2 equals to 12 microfarad is inserted in place of the battery. When the switch S is closed, the charge flows between the capacitor for some time until equilibrium condition is reached. What are the charges Q1 and Q2 on the capacitor C1 and C2 when equilibrium condition is reached? Okay. So students, let us try to understand it like this. Let us say at first the switch is open. Okay, this switch is open and here C1 is the capacitor and here C2 is the capacitor. So at time t equals to 0, here C1, so we know that Q is equals to C into V. So C is given as 6 microfarad and V is given as 5. So 6 5s are 30. So at first the charge is 30 microcoulomb. Okay, 30 microcoulomb. So here we can write plus of Q1, let us say, and here minus Q1, and the potential difference is given as 5 volt. Okay, let us say it is V1 only, and C1 is given as 6 microfarad. Okay, so initially here will be 0 only, here will be 0, and we are given C2 as 12 microfarad. And again it is saying that at time t equals to t, it is at time equals to 0 second, it is time equals to t second, we have switch the we have close switch. Okay, so for close switch, this is q1, this is positive, this is negative, this is q1, it is equals to 6 microfarad, it is given as c1 is given as 6 microfarad, and here q1 is 30 microcoulomb. Okay, so q1 is 30 microcoulomb. Okay, so this is c2. Okay, and this is positive, this is negative, and this will be VC. If we talk about Q2, this is positive, this is negative, so Q2 will be equals to 12 into VC. Here Q2 is also minus 12 into VC, since we are taking one positive and another negative. Here also we can write Q1 is equals to 6 into VC, and here Q2 we can write minus 6 into VC. Okay, so if we apply the loop theorem, so we can write 6 VC plus this 12 VC will be equals to, this charge is given as 30, so 30 plus 0. Okay, so it will be 6 VC plus 12 VC equals to 30, so it will be 18 VC equals to 30. So VC will be equals to 30 over 18, means it will be equals to 3 6 18, 2 5s are 10, 2 3s are 6. So VC will be equals to 5 over 3 volt. So from here we can write Q1 equals to, VC is 5 over 3 volt. So it will be 6 into 5 over 3 volt. So it will be equals to 10 microcoulomb. Okay. And Q2 will be equals to this 12 into 5 by 3. So it will be 20 microcoulomb. So Q1 is 10 microcoulomb and Q2 is 20 microcoulomb. Means for this, the option 2 means Q1 equals to 10 microcoulomb and Q2 equals to 20 microcoulomb is the correct answer when equilibrium condition is reached. Okay. Now question 46. A physical quantity Q is related to four observables A, B, C and D, and Q is given by this, and we have to find the percentage error in Q. Okay. So we are given Q equals to A B raised to the power 4 over CD. So percentage error in Q, it will be delta Q over Q into 100 will be equals to delta A over A plus this power is 4. So 4 into delta B over B plus delta C over C plus delta D over D into 100. Since percentage error we have to find. So delta A over A. A is 60 plus minus 3. So delta A is 3 over this 60 plus 4 into delta B over B means 0.1. 4 into 0.1 over B is 20 plus delta C over C means 0.2 over 40 plus delta D over D. Delta D is 0.1 over 50 and into 100. Okay. So when we solve it, we get this delta Q over Q into 100. It will be equals to this 3 over 60 plus 0.4 over 20 plus 0.2 over 40 plus 0.1 over 50 into 100. Okay. And it is given that the percentage error in Q is X over 1000. So in place of this, we can write X over 1000. So when we solve it, we get X over 1000 and into 100 means, okay, we can write X is equals to 3 over 60 means 1 over 20 plus 0.4 over 20 plus 0.2 over 40 plus 0.1 over 50 into 100 and into 1000. Okay. So when we solve it, we get X equals to, taking 1 over 10 common. So 1 over 2 plus 0.4 over 2 plus 0.2 over 4 plus 0.1 over 5 into 100 into 1000. So 1 0 cancels out. So solving it, we get X equals to 7700. So our answer is X equals to 7700. Okay. Now question number 47. Two planets A and B orbiting a common star in circular orbit of radii RA and RB. Okay. Let us say there is a common star and there are two orbits. let us say this is orbit A, its radius is RA, and this is orbit B, its radius is given as RB, okay, and they are orbiting around a common star with, and we are given that RB is equals to 2RA. The planet B is 4 root 2 times more massive than A. B is 4 root 2 times more massive than planet A. So we have to find the ratio of angular momentum of planet B to angular momentum of planet A. Okay. So we know that angular momentum L equals to mvr, and it is equals to, we also know that m under root of g m into r. Okay. So for LB over LA. So if we write LB over LA, sorry, LA, so it will be equals to mass of B over this, gravity will remain same, this mass of star will remain same, and this will be radius of B over mass of A under root of gravity will remain same, mass of this star will remain same, into R of A, radius of A. Okay, so this root gm will cancel out, so LB over LA, and this mass of B, we are given that planet B is 4 root 2 times more massive than planet A. Means mass of planet B will be 4 root 2 times mass of A over mass of A. Root GM will cancels out, and RB equals to 2RA. 2RA over RA. So RA will cancels out, mass of A cancels out. So when we solve it, we get LB over LA is equals to 4 root 2 into root 2. So it will be 8. So the ratio of LB over LA is 8. Okay. Now, next question is 48. Two cars P and Q are moving on a road in the same direction. There are two cars. The first car is P and the second car is Q. They both are moving in the same direction. Okay. Acceleration of car P increases linearly with time. Acceleration of car P increases linearly with time means acceleration of P is directly proportional to time. So we can write acceleration of P as kt. Okay. And whereas car Q moves with a constant acceleration, car Q is moving at constant acceleration. So let us assume that its acceleration is A. Okay. And also if we assume that it is moving with a velocity of v1 and it is moving with a velocity of v2, both cars cross each other at time t equals to 0 for the first time. For the first time at t equals to 0, they cross each other. Okay. So if they cross each other at t equals to 0 second, so let the net acceleration be, we can solve it by using method of relativity. So net acceleration will be acceleration of q with respect to p. It will be acceleration of q minus acceleration of p. So it will be a minus kt, let us say. Okay, let us say this is equation number 1. So we have to find the maximum possible number of crossings. Okay, so to find the maximum possible number of crossing, we have assumed that acceleration of p is kt and acceleration of q is a. Okay, now let us analyze this problem into two cases. Case 1 is, let us say UQP, the velocity of Q with respect to P and acceleration of Q with respect to P. Both are in the same direction since they are moving in the same direction. So for such case, the scenario will be, let us say this is car P and this is car Q, and the car Q is moving with a speed of Q with respect to P. Okay. If Q with respect to P, so it will cross 2 times. Okay. In this case, it will cross 2 times. And if we take the second case, let us say velocity of P with respect to Q and acceleration of Q with respect to P, both are in opposite direction. In the first case, we have taken the velocity of q with respect to p and acceleration of q with respect to p, both are in same direction. And in the second case, we have taken the velocity of p with respect to q and acceleration of q with respect to p in opposite direction. So in such case, if this car is p and if this car is q, so here the acceleration will be a minus kt, okay, will be in this direction, and the velocity u qp means velocity of q with respect to p will be in this direction. So in such case, it will cross three times in this case. Okay, so in this question we are asked to find the number of possible number of crossing. So the possible number of crossing will be 3 here. Okay, in this case it will be 2 in the first case, and in the second case it will be 3. Now next question 49. The magnetic field inside a 200 ton solenoid of radius 10 centimeter is 2.9 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. If the solenoid carries a current of 0.29 ampere, okay, it is saying that if current is 0.29 ampere, then the length of the solenoid is pi centimeter. How much pi centimeter we have to find? Okay, we know that inside a solenoid, the magnetic field is given by B. It is equals to mu naught I into number of turns per unit length. Okay. So from here, L will be equals to mu naught I into number of turns divided by the magnetic field B. Mu naught is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. Okay. And the current is given as 0.29 and number of turn is given as 200. Okay. Over B, magnetic field is given as 2.9 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. Okay. So when we solve it, we get L is equals to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 plus 4 into 0.29. So when we cancels it, we get 100, and when we cancel it, we get 10. So 29 cancels out into 2 into 10 to the power 1, 2, 3 minus this 2. Okay. So solving it, we get L is equals to 4 pi into 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 10 to the power 1. So L will be equals to 4 pi into 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. So minus 2 means L will be equals to 8 pi centimeter. Okay. So length is equals to 8 pi centimeter. Okay. Now next question 50. A parallel plate capacitor consisting of two circular plates of radius 10 centimeter is being charged by a constant current is given as 0.15 ampere and radius is given as 10 centimeter. If the rate of change of potential difference between the plate is 7 into 10 to the power 8 volt per second, okay, then the integer value of the distance between the parallel plate is, okay. So it is asking about the two parallel plate capacitors, okay. Two parallel plate capacitor. Since we know that Q is equals to C into V. So from here we can write V equals to Q over C. And we know that Q charge is equals to current into time over C. We can write capacitance as epsilon naught A over D. This we all know. Okay. So from here, okay, so V will be equals to IT over epsilon naught. Area is pi r square over D. So from here we can write the distance D as epsilon naught pi r square over I into V over T. Okay. Now just put the values. If we put the values, we find D is equals to epsilon naught. Epsilon naught here it is given as 9 into 10 to the power minus 12 into pi. Pi we have to take 22 over 7 as given in the question. into R. R is 10 centimeter. So it will be 0.1 whole square meter into V. V is given as 7 into 10 to the power 8. Since it is rate of change of potential, means V over T, we are given as 7 into 10 to the power 8 over I. Current is given as 0.15 ampere. So when we solve it, we get 9 into 10 to the power minus of 12 into 22 over 7 into 15 into 10 to the power 2 into 0.1 square into 7 into 10 to the power 8. So this 7 cancels out, and this is 10 to the power 8, and this is 15. 3 3s are 9, 3 5s are 15, and D will be equals to, this will be 6 into 5 2s are 10 into 10 to the power minus 12 into 10 to the power 1 into 0.1 square into 10 to the power 8. Okay, so when we solve it, we get D is equals to 1320 micrometer, because we have to find it in terms of the micrometer. So our answer is, distance between the parallel plate is 1320 micrometer. Okay.